fantastic win, 52-23 victory over the Pacific Boxers. It was really a tale of two halves. Offensively, you guys had 14 points in the first half, with that second quarter kind of about midway to the end of the second quarter, scuffled a little bit offensively, and then just explode in the third quarter. What was the change that all of a sudden where the offense, things just started clicking?
Well, I think the first half was a little bit self-inflicted wounds with just a few intricacies in terms of spacing, connections with a couple receivers. There was really three third downs I thought that we left out there that we should have converted that we didn't from some of our own mistakes. And in the second half, we didn't make those. We played a much cleaner game and made some plays. And boy, I agree. It was quite a difference in terms of momentum. But really, the execution was much better.
Yeah, absolutely. It was really a fun. That third quarter was especially fun to watch. But the defense, pretty much the whole game again. I mean, Pacific is a really, I'd say, accomplished offensive team. I mean, they have a lot of good weapons, good schemes. But the Linfield defense, for the most game, put the hammer down on them. What was your impression of our defensive effort?
They were so consistent on defense. Our guys were, in my opinion, owning the line of scrimmage. And anytime you do that, you're going to be pretty successful on defense, and keeping them out of 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, and making them have to be in a 3rd and medium to 3rd and long scenario, which really is not what their offense is geared to be in. And so winning first down and winning second down were really important to make third down, in your favor. And our defense did that pretty much, most of the game. Obviously, at the end, the scores maybe not reflective of that with some of the special teams mistakes we made late. But I'm really proud of how the defense played. The pass rush was fantastic, and our back row played very well.
Yeah, one thing that I mentioned earlier in another interview earlier in the season, I really like this coaching staff. In fact, I love it. I think they do such a good job of getting on the sideline, making adjustments, challenging the players in a good way, challenging them to be a better version of themselves when they're on the field. What can you say about your staff?
Well, we've had a good staff when we started the season. As I mentioned before, I think we have some of the finest staffs. I think in the West Coast, I really do, in terms of their expertise, technically and schematically, and they're very good teachers, and our guys trust them. And so I think we started the season with a very good staff, and then as the season has progressed, we've actually added to it. We had a smaller staff due to some financial, had to let a couple guys go a couple years ago with this COVID stuff, but we were able to get Neil Fendel to come back and help a little bit on game days, and Brandon Hazenberg, and just recently, and those are tremendous assets. So suddenly we're starting to be a full staff again, and I concur. I think our staff's good, and I'm very proud of them. They work really hard, and they're very accomplished.
Fans have mentioned time and time again about the rushing attack of this team and how they've really enjoyed that aspect. You have two tremendous running backs, and let's face it, man, Wyatt looks like a different person running the ball this year than previously in his career. As a coach, how good does it feel to have those options as a team?
No, it does. Coach McInerney does a great job with our running backs, and the Connor squared, however you want to say it. McNabb and Morton, boy, they are really dangerous in terms of their elusivity. They're really making guys miss when we don't block things perfectly, and they're running with authority. They get north and south quite well, and they not only run, like I said, make guys miss, but they can run over some guys when they have to. And the 1-2 punch that they provide, I think, motivates each other. I think those guys almost motivate each other in the way they play, so they play even harder. And our offensive line is much. I think they're improved. They're more physical right now, and we're doing a good job on the inside zone and the outside zone. And certainly Coach Wickery's done a tremendous job with those guys.
It's a balanced attack for sure. It gives defensive coordinators fits. All right, so let's turn our attention this Saturday, heading back up to the Tacoma area, playing a PLU team that's trying to be really physical at the point of attack with their rushing. Weather-wise, it could be first bad weather day of the year, which is weird to say this late in the season. What can you expect this weekend?
Well, I think just that. I think, you know, it could be wet. Who knows? You know, we'll see. If it is, it is. And if it's not, then great. But, you know, I expect PLU to be very scrappy and very competitive. You know, that's something I thought the last couple of years. Those guys play really hard. They're not going to line up and just overpower you. That's not really. They're not built that way. They're a smaller team, but they're very fast, very scrappy, and do some really neat things schematically. So I think they can confuse you and overwhelm you. You know, particularly on the defensive side, they do a good job that way. So I expect it to be a good challenge. It'll be a fun game for us.
I'm looking forward to being back up in Spark Stadium. It's a fun environment, especially best road locker room. I think we can all agree with that.
Yes.
But hey, Coach, best of luck, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Ryan.